Good evening and welcome to the Hannah Covington McGee Theater at Wingate University for the Wingate Wind Ensemble concert. As a courtesy to our performers, please silence all electronic devices and refrain from using flash photography. If possible, please stay in your seats until the end of each musical piece. If you do need to leave the theater during the performance, we ask that you wait to re-enter until you hear applause. The students and staff of the Wingate Music Department would like to thank you for joining us and are immensely grateful for your support. Please enjoy the show.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Dr. Daniel Johnson. I'm the Director of Bands here at Wingate University. If you've seen our concert programs around, or if you were in the pre-concert lecture, you'll see the title of our concert tonight is Time Leaves Its Shadow. And it takes inspiration from a quote that time flies over us, but leaves its shadow behind. So each of the pieces that you hear tonight will have some sort of reflection of a broader musical history woven into the fabric of them. The first piece you heard is over 500 years old, from the Renaissance era by composer and publisher Tielman Susato. There are many things that are unique about that piece, even for its day, but one of the biggest is that it comes from a larger set of works called the Dancery, and these were all meant as social dances, which was a great part of social interaction back in those days. And what's unique about this is that back in those days, it would have been written in consorts, so light groups of instruments staged in different places, playing in call and response with one another. And our arranger, Bob Margolis, of this kind of honored that 500-year-old tradition. You would hear the horns present something that would be answered across the ensemble by the clarinets, and then again in the trombones, and all over the ensemble. We're excited to present that work for you tonight. Our next piece is entitled Benediction by John Stevens. Benediction was originally composed as a piece for brass ensemble, and a dual edition was later done by the composer for wind band. He says of the piece that it's tended to be kind of an amen in a program, and certainly a piece to give thanks. That's very fitting tonight, because the person that we're inviting out to conduct, we have so much thanks to give. Professor Joseph Girgenti is the Director of Athletic Bands here at Wingate University. I cannot tell you how much this professor does for not only the Wingate University Band program, but the music department and Wingate University as a whole. Yes, please, please. And as I said in the pre-concert lecture, as a faculty member who's brand new, it has been so wonderful to have this person kind of guide me through the process of teaching at Wingate University, and I'm so thankful for that. But I'm even more thankful to be able to call him a good friend. So if you will help me welcome to the stage to conduct Benediction by John Stevens, this is Wingate University Director of Athletic Bands, Professor Joseph Girgenti. Prelude, Siciliano, and Rondo that you just heard is such a fun piece to play, especially that last movement, the Rondo. As is tradition with the rest of the program, we have a larger musical connection to this, or from a broader musical history. If the first piece came from the Renaissance, the second piece was based on a hymn. This piece takes inspiration from the Baroque era. So those forms that you heard, the Prelude, Siciliano, and Rondo, are all different dances or pieces that we would hear back in the Baroque. A prelude being a larger musical introduction that includes some improvisation, a Siciliano being a lilting pastoral dance, and then the Rondo being a form that has something familiar and something contrasting until a very exciting finish. And so we were excited to present that piece to you. The next piece that we're going to play is entitled Old Churches by Michael Colgrass. Michael Colgrass is a Pulitzer Prize winning composer, and as I said in the pre-concert lecture, we could spend a whole nother lecture talking about Michael Colgrass and his music, but he really changed the narrative of what wind bands can do and the kind of music that we could play and the kinds of sounds that we can make. This piece is a challenge to play, and it can also challenge our ears to listen for things in new ways. So one thing that you'll hear in this piece, melodically, comes from Gregorian chant, some of the oldest music in the Western classical music history. But it's paired with improvisation and sounds that sound very contemporary. So throughout the piece, you'll hear and see percussionists in the back playing on large metal mixing bowls. You'll see another group of percussionists improvising on bells. You'll hear some improvisation in the clarinets and flutes and alto saxophones, all mixed with this Gregorian chant. Something that Michael Colgrass does that's very unique is that he builds an acoustic into the orchestration. So if you think about yourself in a large cathedral, you walk in and you're in awe of the structure that you see in front of you, and there are vocalists or monks at the front of the cathedral chanting, and that sound is reverberating off the walls of the cathedral. He builds that acoustic into this. So there will be times where the chant will overlap into the improvisation and back out again. You can imagine the metal mixing bowls as church bells mixed with the murmuring of churchgoers and monks chanting. So we invite you to listen in this way, and we're excited to present Old Churches by Michael Colgrass. Thanks so much, everybody. The last piece that you just heard was Folksong of Midu by Li Chan. The piece is based on an ancient folk song from the Midu region of China, which is kind of on the border of Tibet and India. And just like the second movement of Prelude, Siciliano, and Rondo, the composer aims to create a pastoral scene with that folk song that is hundreds and hundreds of years old. Before we play our last piece tonight, there's a few recognitions that we need to do. First, if you are a Wingate University Music Department faculty member or faculty member outside of the music department, will you please stand to be recognized? The professors that were just recognized have many of these students in other classes besides band. We're a small, close-knit department, and we share a lot of the same students. And so thank you so much for everything that you do for our students here at Wingate University. I would also like to give one more special thanks to our guest conductor, Professor Joseph Girgenti. Professor Girgenti, thank you so much for conducting tonight and for your help all through the rehearsal process and everything you do for the Wingate University bands. Lastly, if you are a parent of a student here on stage, or guardian, or friend, or family member, we can't thank you enough for everything that you do for these students and for allowing them to play in the bands here and for keeping the great band tradition at Wingate University alive. So will you please stand and be recognized? And if the folks on stage could help me recognize these people. Thank you so much. So there's one last person that we need to recognize here, last but not least, up on stage. We have one senior in the group who will be graduating at the end of this semester, which is coming along very quickly. We only have about a week left. Chelsea in the saxophone section. Chelsea, would you please stand? Keep standing, keep standing, keep standing, keep standing. Chelsea has been in the Wingate University Wind Ensemble for 4 years now. Is that correct, Chelsea? Chelsea is a wonderful member of the group. She'll be graduating with a degree in communications with an emphasis in journalism. I got that right. I've been practicing. Again, as someone who's new here, I can't tell you how wonderful it's been to be able to meet and work with students like Chelsea. Chelsea is a wonderful member of this group. Not only is she an incredible musician, but does so much for the spirit of this ensemble. And so we hope, as an alum, she'll come back and play, but we've been so thankful to have you in the group for 4 years, and I've been so lucky to be able to conduct you at least for a semester here. Can we give one more round of applause to Chelsea? So we have one more piece that we'll leave you with this evening. This is Illumination by David Maslanka. Like Michael Colgrass, David Maslanka has done so much for the wind band repertoire. He writes very symphonically, so there are times that you'll hear his music even though there aren't strings on stage where it sounds like there might be. Sometimes he can make the wind ensemble sound like an organ. The depth of his writing is really wonderful in that way. And this piece is an overture that we're actually ending with. Typically an overture would be at the beginning of a program, but it creates such an exciting ending for the concert tonight. And its connection to a larger musical history is, like many overtures, it's written in one of the most basic forms, a ternary form of ABA, a form that we experience every day when we're listening to music on the radio or when we're at other concerts. And so it's a fitting end to our program of Time Leaves Its Shadow Behind. So thank you so much for being here with us this evening. And without further ado, this is Illumination by David Maslanka.